Nowadays everyone's worried about privacy, and while certainly it can be disconcerting to have a company tracking your search history, trying to sell you things, every now and then, Amazon recommends a satanic movie starring William Shatner and John Travolta.
There were some movies, terrible movies, movies so awful, no one would touch. Then came a Matthew, sad little Matthew. Matthew decided these movies to watch. For every good movie, there's at least 10 bad. Matthew gonna drag himself through the crap to find the worst ones there are to be had.
Today's episode, The Devil's Reign.
Hello Internet, I am a man of wealth and taste, and today we are looking at an incredibly on-brand film recommended to me by the all-seeing eye of Amazon and purchased at a local brick-and-mortar store. You will not take DVD stores from me, Jeff Bezos!
Devil worship movies were a dime a dozen back in the mid-70s, probably due in part to the success of films like Rosemary's Baby, The Exorcist, and The Omen. But unlike other low to no budget satanic films of the time, this film had star power. Emphasis on the star.
'Cause William Shatner was on Star Trek.
But the presence of name actors like William Shatner and Ernest Borgnine, as well as established actors like Keenan Wayne of Doctor Strange and Tom Skerritt of Alien, isn't all that sets this film apart. For all the films that extolled the virtues of Satan, few went straight to the source. Anton LaVey, the founder of the Church of Satan.
Don't worry, they're not the weird goat sacrificey demon cult Satanist. It's more of a philosophical, anti-religious movement. But the movie's definitely about the goat sacrificey type of Satanist, so I have no clue what he added to this film.
LaVey served as a consultant, which he did on a handful of movies, as well as appearing in his only credited acting role as High Priest. Feel like that wasn't much of a stretch. Seriously, the Church of Satan seems to like this movie despite the fact that the cult in the film isn't really anything like the church, and, spoilers, the satanic cult are the bad guys who lose at the end of the movie. The whole movie is on the Church of Satan's official YouTube page, which is the type of thing I want my religion to do for me. Although you might hold off on converting until they convert this into something higher than 360p. Then again, no one seems to have this movie in anything higher, not even the DVD. So good news, you get to look at this garbage.
Although it's not like I haven't reviewed plenty of movies in a much lower quality.
But probably the most noteworthy thing about this film, much more so than its satanic connections, is the fact that it's the film debut of Pulp Fiction and Saturday Night Fever star John Travolta.
A man known for joining a cult much more evil than Satanism.
And Travolta's not the last noteworthy name attached to this film. It was directed by Robert Fust, a man who directed the cult horror hit The Abominable Dr. Phibes. This is almost, dare I say it, a mainstream film.
No! My credibility as someone who reviews obscure movies. Didn't you review a Disney movie a while back? Didn't that guy with the mustache shoot you a while back?
Luckily, the writers didn't go on to much. Two of them didn't do anything else, and the third only got as far as writing an episode of Deep Space Nine. Heaven help us all when the Devil's Reign. That's, not grammatical at all. The Devil's Reign doesn't contain a verb. Unless the apostrophe S means the devil is reign, which still really doesn't make sense. Also, I don't know if this is going to show up on camera, but the text showing the names is super pixelated, like it was really small and they just blew it up. And watch out, you guys! This movie is so evil it got a PG rating.
So let's find out what happens when the devil is reign.
I don't know, Shatner couldn't even get top billing when he's both the main character and the most popular actor in the film, at least at time of release. The film sets the tone well with some disturbing paintings and weird wailing noises in the background. It's undoubtedly the creepiest part of the movie.
Yes, the credits are the scariest part of the movie.
And what else would this movie open on but a crucifix?
No, wait, that's a thematically appropriate thing for this film to start on. Sorry, I guess I'm just used to gingerbread men being crucified and Jesus smoking weed.
The film opens on, my grandmother? Like, really, I think you could replace this character with my grandmother and no one would notice. Anyway, she's standing around waiting on her son, William Shatner, to come home.
His character's name is Mark, but what are the odds of you remembering that?
He and his mother squabble for a bit before this guy shows up and just melts. But not before demanding Shatner give them the book. Grandma gives Shatner the book, and he says he'll fight the satanic cult trying to get their hands on it. She also gives him an amulet.
Corvus can't harm you as long as you wear this amulet.
Well, we're gonna put that one to the test.
But as soon as Shatner goes to his truck, his parents are killed, and it's obvious they were after the book. I guess one thing I can give this movie credit for is not holding our hands through the whole thing. We get the idea early on that a satanic cult wants this book, but never really establish why or what it is until much later in the film. Cowboy Shatner rides into an old west town where he's greeted by a kindly old Ernest Borgnine.
Use some water?
What a stand-up dude.
Yeah, he's the leader of the Satanists.
This is perhaps the worst casting in the entire movie. I'll concede that Borgnine and Shatner are the only ones trying in this film, but Borgnine is supposed to be this big, scary, evil dude, but it's goddamn Ernest Borgnine. Mermaid Man. He's not intimidating at all, and yet he's supposed to be evil! Apparently the role was written for Vincent Price, so I don't know how we ended up with this.
I'll face whatever you have behind those doors. And come out exactly as I went in.
A challenge?
Are you asking for a challenge?
Shatner says if he can go into the Satanic Temple and come out the same, that he gets the souls of his parents back. But if he doesn't, they get the book. Oh yeah, and Satanists don't have eyes. Actually, I think the implication is that people are possessed? I don't know, the lore of this film is confusing as hell. But Mark stands strong with his faith and...
Or he just fucking shoots them. Praise be to the true American religion.
He leaves unscathed, but Borgnine calls him out for cheating.
Behold!
I see, he can't hurt you when you have the amulet, just turn the amulet into a snake. Oh, and you better believe Shatner overreacts.
Soon the family name of Preston will be no more.
Yeah, because this guy's family's dead, that name won't be around. It's not like it's a common name or anything.
Then, only about half an hour into the movie, we meet Julie Preston, someone integral to the plot. She's Mark's sister-in-law, and her husband Tom is kind of the lead character, not Shatner. So why did we spend the opening third on Shatner? Julie is being presented by a doctor, who seems to have found a way to make our subconscious actions, such as controlling our heart rate, conscious. Which just seems kinda dangerous.
Our experiments would indicate that there's nothing in the subconscious that cannot be raised to the conscious level.
Nothing, Doctor? What about parapsychology, telepathy? Can that be controlled too?
Oof. Perfect delivery. No reason for a second take.
Although he brings up a good point. I move things around telepathically all the time. I wish I could control it.
Then Julie just spoils the whole fucking movie. Thanks. Tom has to rush home after hearing about his family's troubles and doesn't believe the crazy story about cultists kidnapping his family. But given some of the reveals later, it's kind of unrealistic that he just didn't know about his brother's connections to Satan. Hey, let's check up on old Shatner boy.
Oh, shut up, Mark. He can't do any harm to you.
Tom and Julie find the church from earlier, but discover it's been abandoned.
Reggae Satanis.
Devil worship.
Took you that long to figure it out? The goat and flames on the stained glass window, the pentagram, the freshly used cross, that's suspicious. But some Latin phrase, that confirms it.
Mark.
He painted his name inside of all of his clothes. Then their car catches fire.
Haha, this Texas heat, am I right?
Someone drives by and they chase him into an old building. Then the gun-toting lead in a leather jacket gets punched out by a cowboy in an abandoned saloon.
You know, satanic horror.
And who might that cowboy be but good old John Travolta? His face is barely on screen, and when it is, he's got the satanic non-eyes, so you can barely tell it's him. If only they'd known. Then Julie gets a vision that explains the backstory of the book and Mark's history with the cult. Other releases I've seen of this have an orangish sepia tone, but my DVD is red as shit. It's kinda hard to look at, so I'll do you a favor and play the orange one. Also, take this time to enjoy Shatner's amazingly fake wig. As it turns out, the book is a blood contract with Satan made by pilgrims in the late 1700s. But the book is stolen by Mark's wife, and Corbus says they can't enter Satan's kingdom.
So if you make a contract with the devil and then lose it, you just get to live forever? I'm not misinterpreting that. This is Corbus and Mark from the beginning of the film, which is set in the 70s. Hey, other Matt. What's up? I need you to steal my contract with Satan the Bully and hide it somewhere neither of us will find it.
So you want me to sneak into hell, steal a contract for your soul from Satan, and then hide it somewhere where no one will find it?
Yes.
Off screen?
Yes.
That sounds way more interesting than watching your talking head sit here and talk about some satanic scare film from the 70s.
It also sounds expensive to film.
Good point. Okay, I'll be back.
Thanks, man. Man, if I were immortal, I could just die and come back over and over like I already have once or twice. But this time it would have continuity.
Anyway, the town comes to burn them as witches, and Corbus sends a boy to,
Okay, here's the biggest problem with this film. It makes no fucking sense. They just did what seemed cool and creepy at the time, and the continuity's just a fucking mess. What is this cult doing? How are their souls freed? Are they possessed? Are they just people? What's going on?
He was... Oh, they were all burning! No!
Julie!
Did she just turn into Jerry Lewis? Oh, with the burning and the Satan and the... That's as good as it's gonna fucking get. They get out of there, but Tom decides he must go back for his brother. Kind of a bad choice to make once you're outside of town. But an evil Satan person is in the backseat, causing Julie to veer off the road and hit the only tree in the area. Oh, but come to a complete stop before you hit the tree. We wouldn't want to damage the car. Tom sneaks into a black mass where they're going to torture Shatner.
Hear me, O Lord, of life everlasting. I, Jonathan Corbus, petition thee to let me be thy voice on earth.
I've got 100 signatures. So Satan comes into Ernest Borgnine's mortal vessel and... What is that? It looks like a reject from the Dark Crystal. That's Satan? Shatner seems just as confused as all of us. I think we need to talk about how not good those eye effects look. They don't look painfully fake, they just seem wrong. And weirdly, the special effects are one of the things I've seen this movie praised for. Anyway, Tom gets outside and they call him a blasphemer and that he's defiling what's holy.
Blasphemer! Blasphemer!
You, my son, defiled all that is holy.
I thought Satan was into blasphemy and unholiness. But Tom's got guns on his side and we get more demons getting shot.
Thrilling kill, alright.
Okay, he walked into that one. nice going minions of the most evil power. Tom gets a hold of the book, and in it finds a letter that mentions the Devil's Reign, although neither he or his friend are quite sure what that means. And, they have Julie, because just rescuing the souls of his brother and his parents isn't incentive enough for Tom, now he's gotta save his girlfriend. I'm gonna say it, Julie serves no purpose in this film. She has one single vision that helps move the plot along, but if they just made Tom psychic, she could have been written out of the film entirely. So Tom and his friend who... I think this is the doctor from earlier? I don't know, he hasn't been in this film for over half an hour, so I kind of forgot who he was. Anyway, they find out the Devil's Reign is a jar holding the souls of the people who gave their souls to Satan. Maybe, again, extremely confusing. Tom jumps into the crowd of Satanists and only succeeds in getting captured.
Good job.
Rock on, my dude! Because that's not a satanic sign. It has its origins in the Catholic Church, warding off evil spirits.
Anyways, Shatner gets a hold of the Devil's Reign.
You destroy the Devil's Reign?
Good idea. Fuck this movie. I didn't actually smash it. This thing cost me $5.
And after being reminded of his wife, Shatner breaks the Devil's Reign, causing it to rain. And according to this box, this has absolutely the most incredible ending of any motion picture ever.
A bold claim for a film that isn't Fight Club.
And on the back, Leonard Maltin says it has a memorable finale.
And when I picked up the DVD, I genuinely had to struggle to remember how it ended, even though I'd only seen it like 2 months earlier.
It's people melting. Apparently that's what everyone remembers about this film? People melting?
Only thing memorable about that is remembering how much better Raiders did it.
It does make me wonder if Raiders was influenced by this film or not. There's nothing about it on IMDb, but this is a bit of an obscure movie. Its influence might have been buried. Anyway, the church explodes and I think Satan melts to death.
Oh, so that's what the Book of Revelations meant by, and lo, William Shatner broke the Devil's Reign, and thus the devil melted to death. Or did he? Wait, what?
Fool you!
Oh, maybe that's the memorable ending? I sure hope not, because, I forgot about that ending until right this second. Though to be fair, the first time I saw this, I wasn't exactly sober.
Like I said, there were plenty of these movies back in the day, and tons of better satanic movies, and better movies from this director. How can the guy behind something as visually stunning as Dr. Phibes make something so blah? It's not especially bad, and perhaps with a better cast and a higher budget it could have been something, but as is, the whole film is sort of subpar. That said, if you're into bad satanic films, this is basically the quintessential film, both because of its slightly big name and future bigger name actors, and partially because of its ties to the actual Church of Satan. If Satansploitation is your thing, this is the film for you.
I mean, you gotta respect any movie the Misfits name an entire album after.
Ahem.
Oh, Satan, my man, what's up? What?
I know you took the contract between us. Where is it?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Mortal, I promise you will not enjoy the pain that will be brought down upon you if you don't give me that contract. Now hand it over.
The power of Christ compels you.
Foolish mortal, you can't use the power of Christ. I own your soul. Now give me the contract or I will rain torment upon you unimaginable to your feeble mind.
No, this is America, where one thing is more powerful than God.
You shot me. You actually shot me.
Fuck yeah, guns. Ooh. What's this?
The Satan Clause. Should Satan be killed, his killer shall be responsible for all satanic duties until such time as a suitable Satan can be appointed. Oh, I get it. It's like the Santa Claus. Well, hail myself!
It is strange thy wife, Aranessa,
She has been ill.
does not join us at worship this night.
And thus Matt shot Satan, and it came to pass that he then was Satan. Why is Revelation so cryptic?